I took my wife on a 10th anniversary trip to Bali, and I caught her cheating on me. I brought my wife to Bali for our 10th anniversary and discovered her cheating on me. Right now, my world is entirely broken. She is still in Bali, and I returned home early. I suspected her of cheating earlier in the year but had no hard evidence. I'm at a loss on what to do next. She continues telling me she's not sure what she wants, despite the fact that we've been together for 13 years, married for 10, and she's just recently met this person. I can't even begin to comprehend what she's going through in her mind. It's as if I've been stabbed in the heart. It also seems like he is simply telling her what she wants to hear, and she believes all he says. To make things worse, I'm learning that the guy she's with may be a criminal of some kind. The locals dislike him and informed me that he may have stolen a large sum of money and is hiding on the island. Can I report him to the police, Interpol, or someone else? I simply want my wife back, and I despise this man. But I'm not sure whether I'll be able to go over this. She messages me maybe twice a day right now, just to let me know she's okay and having a nice time. When I receive such messages, I don't believe I can continue with her, but a part of me remembers the good moments and ignores the bad. Please assist me since I am unable to see well right now. Update: after getting a lot of advice and encouragement from many individuals here, I met with a divorce attorney to discuss my options. Even though it was difficult to make the first step and speak with an attorney, it was very beneficial. I'd be absolutely lost without him and all of the kind folks on Reddit. I sent my wife an email expressing that her actions were not acceptable and that I would no longer speak with her until she returned to America. She spent the following 4 days pleading with me to realize that she needed to have fun, and that she hadn't felt like herself since our loss. I informed her that she had made a choice that affected all of us and that I didn't want her to justify her actions. It becomes problematic since there was an earthquake in the neighborhood, so I talked to her a few times during this time, which was a major error. I also made the mistake of communicating with the man with whom she is cheating on me early on. I stopped texting him on the advice of my attorney, but he has sent me countless texts paying me not to rat him out and sending generally unpleasant things. The man is being sought by a large number of individuals, some of whom have contacted me on this site for additional information regarding his whereabouts. I try to ignore it. To make things worse, my wife is still in Bali, where she seems to be residing in this man's house. I thought I was over it when she wrote me an email urging me to come back home, but the guy she is presently seeing also wants to relocate to the area so they can continue their relationship. She claims to have feelings for many individuals and that she needs to visit both of us. I'm not sure what to think of it. Her sister has been a tremendous assistance to me and believes that I should fully break connections, divorce, and move on from her. Her parents are pleading with me to give her another opportunity, hoping that she would see what a ludicrous predicament she is in. She's lost her job here, so I'm not sure how she'd make the adjustment back. I feel as though I'm in a nightmare. Although I am formally married, my wife lives in another nation and is in another relationship. Every day when I wake up, I am absolutely befuddled, puzzled, and wounded. It also stings since she behaves as though she isn't to blame for anything. She continues responding, "My hands are chained," when asked how she is feeling. It's as if she has no control over it and that she loves several people out of nowhere. I get the impression that things are just getting worse for me. This was the worst choice I'd ever made in my life. Story 2. My 31 male pregnant wife, 29 female, has left me for her ex-boyfriend. What should I do next? What would you do? I really need advice on what I should do next. We met on New Year's Day 2019 in New York City and married 6 months later. I adored her more than I loved anything else. She shared my sentiments. I'm not from the United States, and she is assisting me with relocating to the United States. I earn more than $250,000 a year working in IT for a U.S. bank. I began in March 2020, and she does not. I can conduct my job remotely, but I must remain in the United States. We discovered out she was pregnant a year after we met. I wasn't delighted since I felt like our relationship was already on the rocks, but she persuaded me that everything would be okay. She began visiting her hometown around our 1-year wedding anniversary, and I learned that she had been covertly meeting with her ex-boyfriend. We began bickering about it all the time, and she eventually decided that she would rather raise our kid with this other guy than with me. We divorced and relocated to the state of her birth. I live approximately 2 hours away and am staying at a friend's place while he returns to our nation to see relatives. I really despise living here. This time, apart from her, with little communication, has taken the veil from my sight. I'd been taken for a ride. Her due date is November. I'm 90% certain the baby is mine, but I'll do a DNA test when our child is born. I'm not prepared to be a mom. I was only prepared because she had sold me on the concept. She made me believe that if we work together, we can make it work, but that is no longer the case. I definitely wished for it to be that way previously, but now, that doesn't seem conceivable to me. I fought for us until there was nothing more for me to fight for. She continued to water the grass on the opposite side. Our relationship is irreparably damaged, and even if she wanted to try, I couldn't do that to myself. I see her as she is now. In the short time we were together, I saw her flip from pleasant to harsh with multiple individuals close to her. People she regarded as best friends or who were extremely close to her, even close family members. I've been quite accommodating after all. She's pregnant, and I want to make sure she's comfortable since the kid is a part of her. My mental health is deteriorating. I'm not motivated, and I feel like I'm in purgatory while waiting for this baby to arrive. I'm depressed. My therapist believes I'm still living in a dream world where everything will be okay and that I haven't really accepted what's going on. I'm in a state of shock. I can't believe what's going on. It's difficult to comprehend because there are so many layers to what's going on. Physically, I've lost weight, I'm not as active as I should be, and I have absolutely no motivation to do anything. Things get more difficult at this point. Because of immigration requirements, I must continue to be married. However, I have no idea when our interview will take place, which should take place within the next 6 months. At the time of the interview, we must present ourselves as a loving couple with a newborn child. The fact that I'm working under a contract with the possibility of a permanent extension means that I may be able to continue working until March, regardless of my immigration status. I put forth a lot of effort to get this position, but I'm not happy with it anymore. The money is good, and I have health insurance for myself as well as the child, so I want to keep it for as long as feasible. I now make a payment to her once a month. This money will be needed to cover her rent and other living costs. When the child is born, this will increase by a few $1,000s every month for the first several years. Because I felt that if I provided her time, distance, and financial aid, everything would work out okay. This is what we agreed to do. After the child is born, she will get more than half of my monthly pay, which is significant. The duration of this might be extended by another 12 months, depending on the result of the election. My calculations showed that I would only see my kids 17% of the time during the first year, and even then, I would be living in the same house with her and our baby, in a place where I knew no one, in a city where I knew no one. It was a difficult decision for me. She would have to be there to help me since I'm unable to do it on my own. She only wants me to come in a couple of days a week, which accounts for the 17%. If I wanted to see my child every 2 weeks for a couple days, I would have to travel a total of 6 hours round trip each time. There will be around 30 trips during the course of the next year. I'm not required to be here since I can work from any location. In my research, I learned that the state in which we had moved had different divorce statutes, and that if we were to divorce, I would only be required to pay her $2,500 in child support. Our payment agreement was established in accordance with the previous divorce standards in effect in the state where we were located at the time. If we divorce, I will be unable to continue living in the United States for the foreseeable future. I'll be able to spend as much time with the infant as I would if I were still in the United States. I'll have to hunt for a new job, which may not be the worst thing that could happen to me at this point. First and foremost, should I inform my employees about what is going on at their place of work?